Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the conference. This is Phil Clisso with the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities, and it's time to present our Diehard Awards. A diehard is someone who has a steadfast commitment to the principles of self-determination. We have so many diehards in Wisconsin, but this year we have 7 awards that we want to present. And now, here to present the awards is Beth Swedeen from the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities. Take it away, Beth.
Every year, those of you who come to the conference know that we honor some of the most extraordinary self-advocates and advocates in our state for their outstanding service and dedication. Of course, this year we did have to do the diehards a little bit differently than we typically do, but we still managed to surprise each of them, and we're going to share those moments with you in just a minute. So let me introduce the first diehard, Erica Andres. Erica has dedicated her life to being an advocate for all, and she continually gives back to people in the community as an IRIS consultant, where she shares her diehard attitude with individuals self-directing their supports. She personally encourages and motivates others to attend events and take on leadership roles, and she genuinely shares her enthusiasm for their goals. Whether it's across the kitchen table from someone that she's partnering with in IRIS, or behind a podium sharing her story with local and national conference attendees about using self-directed personal care, or teaching a new care worker why it's always important to carry that spare plastic silverware. Erica also has been at the forefront of visiting each IRIS participant personally during COVID to ensure they are staying safe and healthy. Erica also leads a team of skilled and quality personal care workers. She's a nurturing and supportive employer who created loyal and committed advocates among her support team. Some of them even travel over 2 hours one way to their shifts. Congratulations, Erica, on your Diehard Award. Our next diehard is Pam Jensen. Pam Jensen has been a pioneer for advocacy and self-determination for youth with disabilities through her work for the last 8 years as the Transition Grant Project Coordinator. Before that, Pam worked for the Wisconsin Statewide Transition Initiative, and a huge part of her work was co-writing a guide for students with disabilities to develop self-advocacy skills. Pam leads with kindness and a coaching mindset. Over the last 8 years, the Transition Improvement Grant has helped school districts statewide increase their transition outcomes. Pam also sits on numerous statewide advisory groups and is a strong voice for all youth and families throughout Wisconsin. Each year, Pam coordinates all the sessions for the statewide Transition Academy to improve transition practices statewide. Pam has always shown a deep commitment to transition and to making Wisconsin a frontrunner in the delivery of transition-related services for youth and families. Congratulations, Pam, on your Diehard Award. Our next Diehard Award honors Monica and Francisco Javier Lopez. Monica Lopez and her late husband, Francisco Javier Lopez Sr., have truly demonstrated excellence in all facets of their lives. First, they have been loving parents of 5 children, including 2 sons with disabilities. They also are dedicated community volunteers who created the vision to establish and sustain Alianza Latina Aplicando Soluciones, the Latino Alliance Applying Solutions, now known as ALIS, to support bilingual and Spanish-speaking families with children who have disabilities. The Lopez family continues their commitment to Milwaukee families in Monica's tremendous work as a family engagement associate and parent advocate with Milwaukee Public Schools. Because of their years of tenacious advocacy, our support system for children and adults in Wisconsin with disabilities and their families is better able to meet the needs of Spanish-speaking community members in a manner that is respectful and culturally sensitive. The Lopez's leadership in systems change focused on ending wait lists for the long-term care programs in Wisconsin and ensure that people with disabilities have the right to live in the community with the supports they need, rather than relying on institutions and nursing homes for their supports. Monica's older son was waitlisted for 10 years. With her husband, Francisco Javier, as a supportive partner and collaborator, Monica founded Alianza, now known as ALIS, in 1997 with 10 parents. These parents reached out to others in the same situation and created a support and information network. Years later, what started as a small support group is now a respected nonprofit that offers help with special education, voting, advocacy skills, healthcare, transition to adulthood, and offers families activities and supports, serving more than 700 families in the Milwaukee area. Monica and Francisco Javier, we honor your dedication with this year's Diehard Award. Our next Diehard Award goes to Pam Malen. Pam Malen's commitment to supporting independent self-determination and inclusion for people with disabilities cannot be overstated. Pam shows the commitment when she is working directly with a survivor of crime, and she helps that person tell their story with law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges. She shows that commitment as a member of multiple statewide groups, where she educates stakeholders that the needs of people with disabilities must be considered when crafting policy. Pam shows that commitment when training law enforcement and social service providers locally and nationally about how to work with and advocate for survivors of crime who have disabilities. Pam also shows that commitment when she allows her colleagues to shadow her work and learn from an expert how to actively support survivors with disabilities using a trauma-informed lens. Pam's work educating people with intellectual and developmental disabilities about healthy relationships and sexuality is yet another example of her commitment to creatively enhancing and advancing self-determination. Pam's determination has made her a leader in Wisconsin and nationally, and a recognized expert with her colleagues at Disability Rights Wisconsin. Pam's very nature is positive and supportive. Her sense of humor, coupled with her welcoming nature, put people at ease. Pam has always been interested in hearing what is new in someone's life or to help them with a challenge. A great leader also brings out the best in others. One of Pam's most meaningful contributions as a leader is a mentor for self-advocate leaders, including more than a decade of contributions and mentoring of self-advocates as a governor-appointed member of the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities. Pam, you are the definition of a diehard. Congratulations on your award, and many thanks for your incredible contributions at BPDD. Our next diehard is Ashley Matthey. Ashley participated in the Jumpstart program as a student at Nicolet College in Rhinelander, and that's where her road to advocacy began. From there, she participated in Partners in Policymaking through BPDD, where she became connected to other self-advocates around the state and formed lasting relationships with her state legislators. Now, Ashley works with and supports other self-advocates throughout the state on a daily basis, and she's become a leader and mentor for so many other advocates. Did I mention she's only in her low 20s? She's worked hard to stay connected to all of her friends and other self-advocates during COVID, checking in on them on a regular basis and seeing how they're doing. Ashley's accomplishments include being appointed by the governor to BPDD, starting a People First chapter in the Rhinelander area, working as a professional peer coach and mentor for Headwaters and for statewide projects like Living Well, being a star and regular host for the Self-Determination Channel, and developing a support network for self-advocates around the state, including starting a Positive Vibes Facebook group focused on spreading positive energy and messaging. Ashley Matthey, it is my great honor to present you with this year's Shining Star Diehard Award. Our next diehard goes to Philip Temmie. From grassroots to government advocacy, Philip Temmie uses his voice to engage different audiences. A typical year for Philip will span everything from volunteering at Disability Pride Festival to fundraising for Best Buddies of Wisconsin to connecting directly with state government officials through his many years of participation as a host for Take Your Legislator to Work. Also participating on the Self-Determination Conference Planning Team, Philip has had a touch on just about every conference in the last few years. During the last Take Your Legislator to Work campaign, Philip spoke passionately about issues related to transportation, and everyone in the room was listening. Not only is Philip a great advocate for himself, but he encourages and supports others to advocate and self-direct as one of the hosts of the Self-Determination channel on YouTube. One of Philip's most active roles has been with the Best Buddies program. He's now the Best Buddies Buddy Director for his chapter. Philip is always willing to put others before himself and help those around him. As Philip prepares for the next chapter in his life, he's determined to use his personal experiences to educate his peers on how to prepare to move into their own places. Philip has been a champion during the COVID-19 pandemic, given his role as an essential worker at his job. Philip writes regular columns in the biweekly employee newsletter that features new employees and interviews current employees in his Conversations with Philip. Congratulations, Philip Temmie, on your Diehard Award. And our final Diehard Award is greatly deserved and goes to Cindy Bentley. For more than 30 years, Cindy Bentley has been one of Wisconsin's most inspirational leaders and activists. Overcoming so many obstacles as a child, including living in a state institution in southern Wisconsin until age 26, Cindy is living proof that with self-determination and the right family, friends, and team around you, anything is possible. Cindy has achieved so much since leaving Southern Center. She's traveled the world, being a global messenger for Special Olympics, leading People First Wisconsin as its first executive director with an intellectual disability. And she shared her story as an author in the Badger biography series in collaboration with the State Historical Society. The book's called Cindy Bentley, Spirit of a Champion, and it couldn't be more accurate, making her the first in that series to focus on a person with an intellectual disability. Cindy has dined at the White House with 2 different American presidents and given countless speeches to thousands of people about keeping a positive spirit and mind, advocating for what you want and need, and helping our cities, states, and nation see the value of people with disabilities. But for Cindy, that's not enough. As executive director of People First Wisconsin, she ensures lawmakers, organizations, and communities listen to the many voices of people with developmental disabilities. Cindy will always be a proud self-advocate and will continue to use her voice to make life safe, accessible, and equal for everyone with and without disabilities. Cindy, you are truly a diehard, and we are all so grateful for everything you do.
Congratulations to the 2020 Diehard Award recipients. And now, more great sessions. I'll see you at 3:30 for the 20th anniversary celebration of People First Wisconsin with DJ Joe and a fabulous dance party.